Hey everybody, this is going to be the demo for the first hand-drawn multi-view drawing. So the drawing we're going to be doing is the check block. We've already gone over centering equations and how to center these three views that we're going to be doing on our paper. So I've got those figured out already. If you need help with that, let me know or find the equations on Canvas. So my vertical centering number was 15/16. So the first step for these is figure out your centering. Once you've figured out your centering, your vertical centering number is going to get marked vertically up and drawn with a horizontal line. So once again, nice 6/8, nice light lines, nice construction lines. I'm going to draw mine probably a little heavier just so you guys can see it. My horizontal centering is next. That was 1.5. Mark over horizontally and draw that line vertically. And at this point, I'm ready to fully start my drawing. So in this example, we've got a top view, a front view, but we're missing the right side view. In some other problems that you're going to be getting, you're going to get the front view, the side view, but miss the top view. Your steps are going to be the same in principle. They're just going to be, instead of transferring lines over to the right side, you need to transfer them to the top. So we've got our width here at 5.5. Our depth is 1 3/4 here on the side. And then our height is 2 3/4. So our first step after getting our centering equation figured out and drawing our L is to block in our views using our given sizes. So it's going to be 3 3/8. I'm sorry, 5.5, 2 3/4, and 1 3/4. So the width for the front view, because this lower corner here is the same as this lower corner here, I'm going to measure over my width and draw a vertical line up. Remember, this top width needs to be the same as the front width. So 5.5. I'm going to mark that off. Transfer that line vertically up. I'm now going to block out my height, which remember was 2 3/4. So from here, I'm going to measure up 2 3/4. So 2 3/4. Now up top here is going to be our top view, but before that I have a space in here. This is going to be the 1 1/4, and this is 1 1/4. That's, if you look at the centering equations, we have h plus depth, or the height plus the depth plus 1 1/4. The 1 1/4 is this space here. So without moving my scale, there's 1/4, there's 1. That is now the beginning line here of the top view. So now off of that I can go 1 3/4, and I'm good to block that in. So my height is right here. And like I said, we're missing the side view, but I'm going to transfer lines over because I know the height for the side view, which is going to fill in over here, needs to be the same as the height from the front view. So I'm going to take my top lines that need to be drawn horizontally, draw them, transfer it over into this open space. We'll talk about that in just a second. And same with this lower one, except it needs to be a little closer. Now, if you think about it, our front view has our width and our height. The side view has our height. We've transferred our height over, but we also need to include the depth here. My top view has my width and my depth. My width's already been transferred up, but this depth needs to be the same as this depth. To do that, we use this front corner of our, or the top corner of our front view, and we do the miter line, which is 45 degrees from that corner right here. I'll just transfer that up to here. Now, any time that I have a horizontal line from the top, you come over and intersect that line, I can just transfer it straight down, and that will be where the side view fills in. So even though I don't have any information on the side view, I can start filling it in by transferring lines from the front and the top view. For you guys, if you're missing the top view, you would fill it in using the front view and the side view by transferring it up and then over. So at this point, what I do is I just erase the extra lines in between views, just so I don't forget and go over those later. Our next step after blocking in our views is to now start adding our details. So you can see I need to add a 5/8 inch line down here. Off of that, I believe this number is 1.5 to get this next line. So I'll put those in, then I'm going to come over and draw this 7/8 line, and then we'll go from there. So once again, without moving the scale, you want to try and be able to make both measurements marked off. So I'm going to come down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. Off of that, we said it's 1.5 inches. So from 5/8 here to 5/8, there's my inch. Half is 4/8, so 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my second mark. So I don't know how long these are, I just know the location, so I'm going to guess. Now, automatically, without doing anything, I'm going to transfer this line to the right side. If I have a horizontal line from the front view, I need to transfer it over to the side view. Okay? Once again, even though we don't have any information here, I know that that's going to need to appear here. So horizontal lines go over, vertical lines end up going up. So I can now mark over my 7/8. That 7/8 line is right there. Like I said, a vertical line from the front view needs to line up as a vertical line in the top view. So this is going to be a hidden line. It gives me it in the answer, so I'm just going to put it in right off the bat. Now, I've got one last vertical line here, but in the front view it doesn't give me any dimension. However, just like we just talked about, this line does line up with the top view, so I know that it's 3 3/8 from the left side. So I can mark that in now. 3 3/8. Once again, transfer that up to the top view. So at this point, the front view, if you look at it, is done. I just need to clean up some lines that I drew in the wrong spot. The top view is just about done. I've got this line and this line. The only line I'm missing is right here, and if you look, that is 13/16 from the back. Now, like we talked about earlier, anytime I have a horizontal line from the top view, I transfer that over to the miter line. I can now line that up with my triangle on the intersection. And that is going to transfer down to the right side view. So at this point, I need to clean up my top view a little bit. I would erase this corner. The second half of the line is going to need to turn into a hidden line. I'll do that real quick. Now, if you had a missing top view like we talked about earlier, all my vertical lines would just come up and over to help fill that in. Now, the front and the top are done for you here. These are the correct answers, so just make sure you copy these correctly. So these would all be visible lines. These will all be visible lines minus my 2 hidden lines. I've already drawn my hidden lines, so all I would need to do is clean up with an eraser shield and then heavy this in. The right side view, I'm not going to give you the full answer, but this would be what that object actually looks like in 3D. So here's my front view, my top view. The 2 hidden lines here represent a hidden line in this edge or this edge, and then if you think about it, this would be an object line, but the second half in here would be my hidden line from the top. My right side view, if you think about it, would look something like that, but you got to figure it out based on what we have drawn over here. So good luck finding out the rest of the answer. Remember 2H for your visible lines, and good luck.